calling on the energy of these cards to bring through whatever messages we need to receive. I thank the energy of the cards for being in our circle tonight. I trust what they have to offer us. So every moon, every full moon, every new moon, I pull a card for the past, the present, and the future. For our past card, I pulled the Two of Swords. And it's funny because in our past transmission, in our new moon in Capricorn, I pulled the Two of Wands for our future card. So the Two of Wands represents two paths you can take, two choices. Two of Swords represents a balancing act. So maybe now we're on the other side and we've learned how to balance our energy. This Two of Swords is also representing just the past 2 years, the sacrifices that we've had to make, and also the balancing act that we've had to restructure, right? We haven't been able to be as social. Maybe we had to quarantine or isolate or be in lockdown or not even be able to go somewhere else. We've really had to restructure that home, work, life, family, relationship balance. You know, right now, in this very moment, I'm here in my office upstairs in my home. My son and my husband, Cancer moons, are downstairs. They're watching a movie. It's a little loud, but you know what? I'm here doing my thing. There's a little rumble in the background, but I'm comfortable here. And I didn't want to get out in the cold or go to the studio or distract myself with work. I wanted to be here because this is about a balancing act. I'm able now, from being here all day, domesticating all day, spending time with my son, now I can spend time with myself and not have mom guilt or mom shame. I've got my husband fully prepared for the evening. My toddler is totally ready to go to bed. And I'm good to work, and I'm good to do my thing, and I'm good to have my spiritual practices and take self-care and do whatever I need. Life is about a balancing act. So this Two of Swords is telling you right now, as you're in this Mercury retrograde, you're in this Venus retrograde, this is a time of reflection. Full moons are a time of release. Swords are a sign of release. So we're asking ourselves to release anything that throws us out of alignment, anything that throws us out of balance. It's time to release it. It's time to restructure it. And Venus representing that planet of love, that planet of pleasure, that planet of worthiness. Understand that you are worthy of having balance in your life. Another word for balance is peace. You are worthy of having peace. You are worthy of cutting cords with anyone that takes away your peace. You are worthy of having that feeling of just being in alignment with your energy centers and your chakras and your energetic flow. You deserve to feel that. So this Two of Swords is saying, hey, during this retrograde season, look back, reflect, and cut ties with anything that you need to that stands in the way. Moving on to our present card, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune represented by the number 10, as in one, as in new beginnings. And guess what happens in just a few weeks? Guess what happens right at the end of this lunar cycle and just at the beginning of the next lunar cycle, the lunar cycle of Aquarius? We move into Lunar New Year. Chinese New Year on February 1st. So we're turning the wheel of energy from the energy of the ox to the energy of the tiger. The energy of the ox is about grounding in. It's almost that Capricorn energy too. Capricorn is the goat. This is the ox. They both have these horns. They're putting their head down. They're grounding in. They're a little stubborn. The ox is kind of heavy set, grounding into structure of the big boned body of the animal, you know, structure of the planet, structure of our society, everybody affecting everybody. But now we're moving into the tiger, which is a little bit more of a solo energy. The tiger can find a partner or the tiger can find a pack, but the tiger can also hunt alone and usually does. So we're in an energy of going after what we want, going after what we desire, what we seek, finding our prey and going after it, enjoying the hunt along the way, embracing courage, boldness, strength, and also just believing that we can be successful, that we can achieve our dreams, that we can make them come true, that we can be fortunate. The Wheel of Fortune represents fortune. It also has the symbol of Jupiter on it. Jupiter is the biggest planet in our galaxy. Jupiter is the planet of joy, luck, abundance, and fortune. So pulling this Wheel of Fortune as a present card, we're being reminded that, hey, we're in a time of second chances. We're in a time of new beginnings. We're on the cusp of a whole new lunar year, 13 more lunar cycles to repeat the energy over again. And sometimes the Wheel of Fortune represents a little bit of that stuff coming back around and around and around again, right? Retrograde season. We're literally in it right now. So take note of everything that comes back around and make sure that as you move forward, if you're keeping it on your wheel, if you're keeping these people and these relationships in your life, that they're going to promote your joy, your growth, your expansion, maybe even your fortune. I gotta grab a drink. Hi, Lisa. Lisa says she likes that card. I like it too. But it gets really interesting with this reading because just as we pulled the card representing Jupiter, joy, luck, expansion, Wheel of Fortune, present time, our future card is the Tower. Also represented by Jupiter. The Tower represents divine intervention, the destiny of God. It's a series of fortunate events, unfortunate events. I think it's how you view it. Maybe it's just a series of events that lead to things being not like they were before. So the Tower is being struck by lightning. It's on flames. We've got the man and the woman falling separately. So remember how I said to take caution with Venus retrograde and these people that come back in your life that ignite your fire and pull at your heartstrings. And maybe it seems almost too good to be true. Well, the Tower card is saying that once that Venus retrograde is over on January 29th, and once that Mercury retrograde ends on February 3rd, or maybe the post shadow on February 10th, that things might have not been what they seemed, that things might have been too good to be true, and it might be time for you two to go your separate ways again. And this might be romantic relationships, it might be just friendships, it might be business partnerships, but just know that things might change between you two or between the relationship on the other side of things in the next lunar cycle in this next year to come. Now, this card is represented by the number 16. 16 is also 7. 1 plus 6 is 7 in numerology. And 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. So 2023 is a 7 year. And I think the Tower is telling us by the time we get to 2023, or maybe once this eclipse series is over 18 months from now. So this is another interesting thing in this next lunar cycle. Depending on how you're looking at astrology, some people already believe that we've made the shift from the Gemini Sagittarius eclipse series into the Taurus Scorpio series. Some people believe that we're about to hit it in this next month or so. So this could be representing that brand new eclipse series that we're moving through over the next 18 months. And by the time we get into mid 2023, things are going to be a lot different than they were before. This could also literally mean that expansion is happening and that things are just going to be different. It doesn't have to mean like mass destruction. Now, it can mean that because we do have Mars shifting energy. Mars and Venus in the next few weeks, Mars and Venus are going to come into what we call in Vedic astrology a Graha Yuddha. When we're in a Graha Yuddha, that means that the planets are at war with one another. We're in a planetary battle or planetary war. And this can cause a lot of energetic tension with us. This can cause us to feel things like hurricanes, tsunamis, volcanoes, earthquakes, just like weird stuff too. Like maybe it's like a locust plague, like it could be things that we never expected, like coronavirus, like a global pandemic, right? There's a lot of things that could happen in the future up until mid 2023 or kind of over the next year or so that are going to make things never like they were before. Now, the good news is we are already adapted to this, right? And I think that's why I pulled the Wheel of Fortune, both sides of Jupiter, because we're ready for what's ahead. As the events start to turn and change ahead of us, we're prepared for them. So again, maybe it's fortunate events, maybe it's unfortunate events, maybe it's just events, because the Two of Swords says, hey, everything's a balancing act. And at some point we have to make all of these shifts and changes in order for us to come back into equilibrium, in order for our planet to come back into equilibrium, in order for our society as a human collective to come back into equilibrium, for our frequencies to align again. We have to have things happen in a big way to change us from the way we ever were before. Now, also remember that we're moving into the age of Aquarius. We're actually kind of there already. We're in the dawn of the golden age. We're in the age of Aquarius, but we're also moving into the season of Aquarius in 2 days. So on January 19th, we'll shift our energy from the energy of grounding, earthy Capricorn. By the way, up until that great conjunction in 2021 on winter solstice, we were in a Capricornian age, a dark age. Now we've shifted into the Aquarius age, a light golden age. So in 2 days, January 19th will also align with that energy, and we might just have things come up that are different. We might have innovations in medicine, in science, in space exploration, in technology, and just the way that we understand energy. I do believe that this Tower card is also representing the way that we kind of like conceptualize things, the way that we see things on this earthly planet or understand things. We're really starting to understand energy a lot differently. We're actually starting to believe that energy is a thing that we need to work with to heal ourselves. Chakras are not such a woo-woo thing anymore. We're actually talking about that. Epigenetics, something that I've looked into for the past 8 or 9 years, is now actually like a real thing and not some like weird woo-woo science. So we're starting to understand things differently. So just know that we are, with this Tower card being pulled for the future, we're being prepared that new things are going to happen, and we're going to kind of like shift our mindset, and things aren't going to be the way that they were before. We're moving into a new world, a new earth, and a new normal. It's just time to embrace it and trust that it's for our growth and for our greater good.